Spain, Europe, October 12, 2025.
Mireu, els cotxes ja comencen a menellar-se, a surar i se'n van pa acá fora. Hòstia, xaval, allí que un cotxe estava allà, uno ja ha començat a menellar-se, el meu no trigarà.
Torrential rains caused panic and chaos in Terres yesterday afternoon and evening, with severe flooding at its epicenter in the Montsià region, with several municipalities affected by extensive damage to buildings and facilities. Godall, Alcanar, Ràpita, Barberans, Ulldecona, and Freginals bore the brunt, with water inundating streets, ground floors of houses and buildings, sports facilities, numerous roads, and other communication routes, such as the rail network between the southern regions of Catalonia and Tarragona. Hundreds of cars were swept away.
No, que van tots en línia, eh? Uah, això serà pitjor que allà baix,
It's a disaster, especially in Alcanar Platja. It's the same thing every year at the same time, said Joan Roig, mayor of Alcanar. Images of streets turned into rivers, with dozens of cars swept away and flooded basements raised fears of the worst last night, recalling panic situations like those experienced in Valencia just over a year ago. The AP7 highway was closed to traffic in both directions at the Montsià mountain range around 7 p.m. due to floodwaters. A call was issued yesterday afternoon and evening for everyone who could to stay indoors and seek safe places on upper floors. Firefighters had to make more than 400 calls by nightfall due to the effects of the floods, with numerous rescues, most of them residents trapped in their cars. At press time, emergency services had not reported any missing persons or personal injuries, despite the severity of the flooding in Terres. Nevertheless, search efforts continued. More than 600 people had called by 9 p.m. reporting incidents caused by the floods. Although the material damage caused by the massive accumulation of water and the destruction of public and private property is still unknown, losses are expected to be in the millions. The mayors of the affected municipalities expressed their profound distress and concern yesterday afternoon and evening over the development of an already catastrophic situation late last night.
Deixa. Não, um paquete d'aigua.
All classes are also suspended for today, Monday, at primary and secondary schools in Montsià, Baix-Ebre, Ribera d'Ebre, Terra Alta, and Baix-Camp, in Camp de Tarragona. Torrential rains, with very heavy rainfall falling in just a few hours, with nearly 200 liters accumulated in several population centers in Montsià, generated large floods. The most affected area in the Montsià region is particularly vulnerable to heavy downpours due to its terrain, with steep slopes within a few kilometers. The presence of multiple ravines leading to the sea, with many flood-prone areas, always worsens the consequences of flooding.
Mira, che, mira. No sé, mira, 2 caballos, ve, se lo lleva el agua, ve. 3 caballos, ve, y el señor no puede.
The situation left hundreds of residents trapped, mostly in vehicles, while traveling through Montsià and other parts of Terres de l'Ebre. The Civil Protection Alert, sent to phone numbers urging residents to reduce their mobility in the region, arrived as heavy rains were already falling across the area. Around 6 p.m. citizens also sent numerous messages urging caution. At around 7:45 p.m., Civil Protection sent a second alert to all mobile phones in several regions of Camp de Tarragona, further north, due to the forecast of further flooding due to the arrival of torrential rains during the night and early morning. The Department of the Interior called on all residents to minimize travel and avoid passing through flood-prone areas, such as ravines and streams. Civil Protection recommended seeking higher ground if major floods are detected in municipalities of Montsià. Activities at sports and healthcare facilities in Montsià, Bakes Eber, Rira de Eber, Bakes Camp, and Terra Alta have also been suspended for this Monday. In all these regions, Civil Protection is also urging people to reduce mobility and work remotely whenever possible. The emergency situation could worsen overnight with further rain forecast. Adding to the problem is the fact that the rainfall has persisted throughout the weekend. In municipalities such as Mas de Barberans, nearly 300 liters per square meter have accumulated in the last 24 hours. The large amount of accumulated water explains why many of the ravines that cross the Montsià region overflowed their banks yesterday afternoon, sweeping away everything they found in the surrounding areas. The residential areas of Alcanar Platja were once again the worst hit, with serious damage to villas. In Alcanar, flooding caused by torrential rains is becoming more frequent due to the consequences of the climate emergency. The neighboring municipality of La Ràpita has also suffered serious and extensive material damage due to the effects of overflowing ravines. The municipal pavilion in La Ràpita also suffered flooding, leaving dozens of people inside, who were waiting to be evacuated last night, although their situation was considered safe. On the N340, dozens of cars were trapped on a road that was blocked. Storm Alice had already appeared in Mediterranean coastal communities earlier this week, but it wasn't until later this week that rain became a major concern due to its danger in highly flood-prone areas. On Thursday and Friday, it was the turn of the Valencian community, where more than 150 liters per square meter were recorded in towns in Alicante. This Saturday, it was the turn of the Balearic Islands, where severe storms were recorded in Ibiza, Mallorca, and Formentera, and this Sunday afternoon, it was the turn of southern Catalonia.
Mira, 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 mira qué pena, mira. Los caballos ya están cogiendo mucha agua.
The president of the Generalitat Catalan government, Salvador Illa, has urged maximum caution in the face of torrential rains this Sunday in the Tarragona region, especially in Montsià, after meeting with the Catalan Operational Coordination Center, CCAT, to address the situation. The Catalan government continues to urge maximum caution and to follow the instructions of civil protection, he said, thanking public servants for their work in a message on social media.